Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking About Adaptability. Today we're going to the Philippines to Mr. Lloyd Luna. Sounds great. Let's go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Let's Talk About Adaptability, and also welcome our guest, Mr. Lloyd Luna. And before I introduce you, I just wanted to know from you is what is the first thing that comes to mind when I say adaptability?
Well, first, thanks so much for inviting me. I think I was able to adapt to your wonderful, beautiful, huge studio, I should say. This is the first that I get featured in this kind of global network or something. And it's interesting that it's an octopus, I guess.
It is. But
Okay,
you forgot to answer the question. If I say adaptability, what's the first thing that comes up mind?
Tom, relax. We are just getting started.
I know,
Come
but I'm
on.
excited. I'm excited.
Soft questions, soft questions. All right, let's talk about adaptability. Well, my name again is Lloyd Luna. I am a professional motivational speaker here in the Philippines, the founder of the Philippine Association of Professional Speakers. Um, and interestingly, in 2020, all that I have built for more than 15 years was shattered because of the pandemic. So definitely last year, I was kind of broke. And I must say that it was also the time that I had to challenge myself and see how probably could I survive. So I think the answer to your question, the short answer is survival, adaptability, being able to be there and stay alive. Because if you are not alive, I don't think there's anything to discuss.
Yeah, okay, but but it's an easy thing to say. We have to stay alive, but some people are struggling with that, and some people, well, in a couple matter of weeks, they sort of repack themselves and have solutions or shifted gear or whatever. So do you remember the time that you thought, wait a minute, this is not going well, I have to change something? And that period of time, that is a very, for everybody, that's the most difficult period, because as soon as you started something new, you go with the flow and everybody motivates you, you hope. But that first decision that you have to do it different, do you remember that time? Was that also difficult for you?
I clearly remember the process I had to go through, Tom. It's a process. It's not a one time kind of thing like
No, it's not a
next
switch.
thing.
It's
Yeah, it's not a
yeah,
switch, definitely.
yeah.
And even if it is a switch, it's a switch that is so huge that you will have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should put me in the live camera. Put
Yeah,
me in a
yeah, like
live
this.
camera.
Yeah, yeah.
The switch, and then this is 1 year of turn,
Now wait a minute. I
and
can't believe you.
hopefully,
This was not your 1 year switch. I mean, you had to take a decision to make a change. You have a family, a beautiful family. So, like you
right,
said, you're broke, no income, and there
right.
you are. You feel responsible, and you have to go for it.
Yeah, in fact, I did not feel so much responsible. I think it was my wife who felt responsible for me. But here's how it happened, Tom.
Yeah.
March 15 last year, the lockdown was implemented the entire Philippines, and it means my speaking engagements were all canceled. And every year I speak at least 120 times, and I can just imagine how it affected my livelihood, so to speak. I mean, canceled contracts and things like that. So the first few days of this lockdown, I thought, "Oh, finally, I'm on vacation, baby!" Right. But then again, it was 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and 1 month, and I thought, what is happening?
Mhm.
All of a sudden, I felt like I was useless,
Okay.
unproductive, unmotivated, uninspired, undirected. It's like, I'm not going anywhere. I was not able to do some productive works, so to speak. And I thought, what is this? And in that period, I thought I was getting through a process called disruption, where all the things that I used to do, it's no longer.
Yeah.
So that's the first phase of what I call the intentional transformation, trademarked. That process. The first is disruption.
Yeah.
And during the disruption, what did I feel? Well, frustration, disappointment, hopelessness, helplessness, anger, uh, feeling of loss, guilt, these negative feelings that
Yes.
I never thought I will really experience in my lifetime, because you and I, we love fun. I mean, we just wanted
Yeah.
fun all the time. And it's not fun when you're alone and you don't have any audience in front of
No,
you.
but I think everything you just said. I mean, that's the thing that people can relate to. You feel frustrated, angry, useless, empty. It's that's. But the thing is, what you're going to say now. What made you that the different person, or made it possible that you stepped out of that and created something to go on.
Well, at some point, you will be tired of being tired.
All right,
You, at some
that's a
point,
good
you will
one.
feel, exactly, you will feel that you are already sick and
Yeah,
tired
yeah,
of being tired and sick. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, you have to call it, you have to put a stop to it.
yeah,
Okay, this pandemic will never stop anytime soon. And what do I do? I mean,
yeah,
do I become a bum forever? Do I sustain my being frustrated and disappointed for 1 month more, or 2 quarters more? And when the answer was no, definitely, and then you have to do something. And I think that's where your little kind of thing called adaptability comes into play. Like, what are the things that are still with me?
mm-hmm.
Who am I still, as a person, as a speaker? Are the skills that are still in me, that somehow I can make use, so I can live a more productive day, rather than thinking about the losses, and the lost opportunities, and the restrictions that I've got,
Yeah,
unable to move, being able to be in the container that, you know. So when I realized that I really have to do something, and then that started it. Being able to check, okay, maybe if I cannot do a motivational speaking, maybe I can do a live stream show. And I did. Back in
yeah.
2010 and 2015, I had a television show here in the Philippines, and I
Okay.
thought I can make that skill, but it's not on television, it's on Facebook live stream.
Yeah.
So on April 25 last year, I started a show called The Big Picture. And 1 year after that, I was able to finish 13 seasons, more than 200 episodes
Wow.
down the stretch.
That's great. So, but if I'm correct, like you said, well, in the beginning, you focused on what's going wrong outside
Exactly.
yourself.
The question, Tom, the question at the beginning was, have I lost?
Yes.
And when the answer was yes, all the things that came to me would be negative emotions and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing about that.
No,
But
no.
when I changed the question, and the question I, uh, I had in exchange of have I lost was, have I learned? And when the answer was yes, I started to feel good about myself and be excited
Yeah.
about the future and things like that. So when I changed the question, I changed my mindset.
Yeah.
And when I changed my mindset, I changed my life.
That's very good, because let's relate to that, because then people can learn from it. Like I said in the beginning, you were focused on, okay, what's going wrong on the outside, the world. My income is gone. There is no opportunity. There is no life performance. It's everything you did, but you were and you are this motivated, very strong, powerful leader. So in the first, you were attacked by all those terrible things that were around you, but then you looked inside yourself and you said, well, I'm still that guy. The only thing, I have to find a way to go out there that suits the right moment. That's right now. So if I can relate it, to sort of put it in perspective, because people are still struggling with what am I, what can I do, and blah blah blah. So, and then you actually you see all the terrible things around you, but you have to go back to yourself, to your core, and
Right.
to your what you're good at, and then
Yeah,
find your way out.
I realize that if you are sure about the mission that you have in
Hmm.
this world,
Yeah,
regardless if the platform is changing, you can still adapt to it.
yeah.
And I thought if my mission is to inspire and motivate people and teach them something that I know, and
Hmm.
then whether on stage or on live stream or a newsletter or blogs or whatever platform that is, the mission does not actually change.
No.
The platform does change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't really blame people for being unable to bounce back or recover or adapt easily, because I think based on our upbringing, we have just different timelines on dealing with things. And I just want to say that, the faster you do it, always the better.
Yeah, and there's maybe does it also count for you? Like I had still a lot of talks like this, and some of them even said that the pandemic made them stronger. That if they compare it, that their skills or what they're doing or their beliefs, that it's now even stronger than it was 2.5 years ago. Can you relate to that?
Well, I don't want to say it's stronger. I would like to call it maybe more, the term I would like to use is more perspective,
Okay.
more on changing or shift in some sort of mindset. Because prior to pandemic, we never thought that we can do this. I mean, Tom probably wouldn't do, the million
No.
dollar, million dollar kind of setup.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, how many millions of dollars did we spend for that studio, right? I mean, better than CNN or
It,
CNBC.
it's not that much. It's just
Right.
visuals.
I know. Don't say it. No one knows.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so it is more on perspective, I guess. Not necessarily I got stronger, but the perspective, the changes in mindset, the challenging that assumption that I thought I could never be that. I can never be
Yeah.
this. But in the course of what we what we have and the restrictions that we have, we're able to stretch ourselves, our creativity, and that again, the adaptability quotient. If there's such a thing, I don't know if there's an adaptability
Absolutely.
quotient.
There is. There is. Yes.
Right? So being able to do that, being able to break out from your shell and explore what are the things that I can do that I thought it never possible prior to
Yes.
pandemic. How we were doing it. So it's not really being stronger, but it's more of being, I think, perspective and
I
retrospective.
think perspective is a great word because stronger is. I mean, perspective also is more business wise. In the mean, like you used to do your work and it's just this, but now it's online and people can come to you do from for other things that you are good at. So I mean, so you have a broader perspective of what you're doing and your work. So that's great. Hey, how about engagement? You are also. I think I've seen, I'm sure I've seen you in Singapore and in Paris on stage. And you also like to engage people, like to use humor, a lot of energy into the room. How important is that aspect right now? Because, is that people are sort of in a sort of dull situation, in a sort of deep hole, and they have to climb out. Do you think humor right now is very important?
Oh, I think humor does not go out of fashion. That's
No,
for sure. I
that's a
mean,
good
whether it's
sentence.
online, offline, whatever that is, you can even have a humor with yourself. If nobody's
Yeah,
there, you can just recall your memory and then, okay, that was
absolutely.
fun. It was
Yeah,
funny. And I also have seen you on stage when we were in Paris. Remember the French and European Speakers Convention? And yes, we both, I think we were the best speakers there. I don't know if you can
Well,
remember.
it's. I think we're allowed to say that in this podcast.
Nobody's watching anyway.
Exactly, exactly. It's private.
Here's the thing that I have learned. Regardless if there is an actual audience or there is none, in this
Hmm.
case, you have I have you, so you are my audience. But in the case where I do a lot of virtual trainings and seminars, the mindset that I have is that if I introduce humor, I assume that they laugh.
Yeah,
So I take it into my mind that it's still the same Lloyd Luna prior to pandemic, face to face, and on virtual. So it doesn't matter because I think it has something to do with confidence as well. Somehow I made myself believe that I was still that person. And therefore it was easy for me to just throw the punchline and I know people will laugh, even if I don't see them, even if
yeah,
I don't hear them. So it's like
absolutely.
more of an acting kind of thing, like you're a celebrity of some sport. But I really
Hmm.
don't mind. I but it didn't come easily. I had to train myself to lie,
Yeah.
to lie about the
Well,
situation.
I don't know if it's lying. It's like you said. I think it's also part of confidence. If you've been on stage and you with your body language and you know, well, if I say this in a way that it makes it important, or do you know, bah, and then you feel the energy in the room, and if you have that hundreds or thousands of times, well, you're pretty sure that if you have the same energy in the same way you talk in the camera, that you know that on the other end there will be a buzz. Maybe
Right.
not that big as in a live audience, but something will happen. But you have to train yourself. It's very, very, very good. You said it.
Right. You have to train yourself because a lot
Yeah.
of times people come to me and say, how do you do that?
Hmm.
I said, well, that's what I have been doing for the past 15 years. And being on virtual stage does not mean I should really change anything. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
still the same Lloyd Luna 15 years when I started. I'm still the humorous type of speaker. Why will I change myself? Because the platform has changed.
Yeah.
So it's really the mindset and the continuous training on how you adapt with the technology that enables us to just continue what we have been doing.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I think that's
Sorry,
my
that's
studio
Lloyd. That's
manager. Sorry.
my fault.
Sometimes I
I'm
forget
sorry.
something. Sorry. I just. Hello.
AQai
Yes.
superare seminare
Yes.
silence preparatory
Oh right. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. I can ask that. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I almost forgot that. What do you think the biggest challenge is what we're facing?
Are you sure that's the question that he
Yeah, that was the
wants?
question. Did you hear her or not? I mean, she's got a strange talk, but I know her very, very well.
Because I doubt. But anyway, I'm going to answer nonetheless. Again, the question.
Relax.
First, yeah, first off, this the this is the first time I've heard that kind of ringtone.
It's, it's there's nothing wrong
It's
with
so
this or not. It's. Do you remember this one?
there's an emergency and you would say
Yeah. Brrr. That's this one, but it still works.
anyway. Sure, I mean we just used it. The again the question is sorry.
No problem. I will relax.
Okay, the question was
What's the biggest challenge you think we are facing right now?
okay. I asked again just to make sure that you are translating correctly, and you did a
Or
good
shall
job.
I, or shall I call my studio manager or not?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm still in that stage where and when I'm in a challenging position. I thought it was last year.
Hmm.
Really, the entire time as I started rebuilding my businesses and my career, because as we speak right now, I just recently put up two new companies, and
Okay.
there's one more company coming in.
Wow.
I was able to do a couple of different business models that complement what I do. Like, for example, I put up the Public Speaking Institute,
Yes.
which is responsible for doing this public speaking training program.
Hmm.
And I also did a New Skills Institute, another company which is issuing different certification programs for other skills. And I'm saying that because if there is a problem, I thought it's the details on how I should be building these organizations, because everything is flattened right now. You can practically start something and do a lot of trial and error without people noticing you.
Yeah.
And after some time, it will just be there and successful, hopefully. So maybe the challenge is to uh, be be patient about the details of building, but honestly, I'm enjoying the experiments, the trial and error kind of stuff, because for me, I mean, we have survived 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think we will not survive in 2021, because we had we had adapted.
Very nice. Yeah. Very good. Well, okay. Well, let's close off.
So
I've got a
I don't think I answered your question, because there is no
no,
answer.
yeah, of course, you answered the question. I mean, there's not a right or wrong answer when you have an open question. So I think you had a great answer, and your answer was actually, it's like you. I said, well, what kinds of problems we are facing, and you took it sort of personally that you are building two companies as sort of so you cope with the change by stimulating yourself, just build something, create something, make mistakes, go on, and that's what other people can learn from, because that's what we should do. If you sit still, nothing happens, and you get groomy. And the fact that in the end of a pandemic you start two other companies from the knowledge that you have, I think that's great wisdom. So
Right.
how do you stay motivated? We talked about it a year ago, 1.5 years ago. You were in a pretty rough period, like broke,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But now you feel again the energetic Luna that I know for a couple of years.
Yeah.
What do you say to yourself in the morning?
Okay, hold on. Remember last year I didn't have a job,
Okay.
so I am a motivational speaker, right?
Yep.
So what I did was I hired myself.
Wow. Who paid the invoice?
I hired myself to
That's a good
motivate.
one. Yeah. How good are you?
It paid off, Tom. I tell you, it paid off.
Yeah.
I'm still grateful for me for having motivated myself. I don't know.
No,
It's really
I think you already gave the answer. I think it's the best tagline for a motivated speaker. It's like, last year I hired myself and here I'm again. I mean, you must be the best motivational speaker that I know. That is, before you know, and that's actually the best line I've ever heard this whole week. No,
no
it's
one.
great.
I paid myself and I got myself motivated. How good is that? I
You're the
mean, that's really,
best.
no, but
I will hire you.
what are the things that I tell myself every morning? I thought, um, it's going to be a great day.
Wow.
It's going to be a day of opportunity for you to express your creativity and put your hands on things that you can still build, that can inspire people. Uh, if there's anything, I also tell myself that I am trying to make a new script and new stories for myself, because for the past 15 years, I have been telling the same story over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
going to different places,
Yeah.
telling this story to different people. But now, in 2020, in fact, I was able to write my 17th book. The title of the book is Transform or Perish. How to
17, you
intentionally
said.
17
Wow.
1 7. But the title is Transform or Perish. How to intentionally change yourself um, to deal with overwhelming disruption.
Yep.
So can you imagine I was able to do that? And the context of the book is about transformation, adaptability, and survival in order for you to eventually thrive. And the
Mhm.
process of how this intentional transformation really happens, because I thought every day people transform,
Mhm.
whether we admit it or not, whether we notice it or not. Every day we transform. And in my study during the time, I thought there are three types of transformation. Natural transformation, like we grow, we age,
Yep.
so we get old, so no problem. It's natural. Nobody can stop it. Number two is incidental transformation. This pandemic caused us to transform, to change the way we look at things and the way we do things.
Mhm.
Incidental, it's the kind of transformation uh, that happens because an external force you to do it, to change, to transform. The third type is what I call the intentional transformation.
Okay.
Transformation that you intentionally influence in order for you to be someone or something in the future. Making that
Yeah.
tough decision right now so that eventually you can influence your now or your present so that you can be someone you would like to be in the future. I did that and I thought, wow, I mean, this is exactly what it is right now. So every day
Mhm.
when I get when I get to look myself in the mirror, I say, this is another opportunity for you to transform. No matter how little the transformation is, it will be really really uh, important moving forward.
Yeah.
So
Last question, because for me this is an interesting one. The last transformation you talked about, because there are transformations like in the beginning of the pandemic, people had to use Zoom even if they hated it, or Teams or whatever. So that's a transformation you have to do. So there's no yes or no if you want to keep your job. But another transformation is you're looking for the best opportunity. And I just want to ask you for the last question: is there a difference in approach? So the first one is, oh, there is panic. You have to take a decision, step out of a boat or step out of an elevator, or whatever. You have to do it because there's no other way. Or there is a transition that you choose, and that can be a great transition to bring you further, or make you even more skilled or whatever. Is there a difference, or do you understand the question?
definitely there's a difference, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about incidental transformation, it's based on an incident.
Yeah,
And most of the time, the incident is something you don't like.
yeah,
It happens without warning. It's incident based. It's kind of accident. Nobody wanted to work from home. Nobody wanted to use Zoom, as you said, because we want face to face trainings and seminars. But what I'm saying in intentional transformation is that this is the kind of transformation that you are willing to do. Both are painful. Both transformations are painful. Incidental transformation is painful. It's messy. It's disorienting many times. But this one, intentional transformation, is you are sure that you would like to do it. You want to study Zoom. You want to study a new business model. You want to this. Both are painful, but if you choose the intentional way of transforming yourself, I think
yes,
it's
and if
promise. It's I think it's something that you will be proud of because instead of the transformation, it just it's something that you
that's
cannot be proud of it.
that's exactly the point I wanted to make. I mean, you can call it painful, and then you sort of you're actually sort of in a back position. But if you say, well, if I can use this skill, I may be proud of myself. Then you are ahead of the situation, and
Right?
it's also it's a mindset thing, of course, But that's also what people can learn from.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Lastly, because I think whether we like it or not, we are going to transform anyway. So
absolutely,
why not make it intentional rather than incidental?
that's a
Why are you
great line.
giving? Why are you going to bet on the future that you are not so sure. When you have the opportunity in your hand right now to influence that future by doing something important now, something that may be painful, well, surely painful and messy, but eventually you will end up on the other side of uh, the situation, and you know you are victorious.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Luna. I've got one last question because it's a personal question. But
How many?
before I
How many, how many last questions do you have?
one.
Okay, okay.
Only one
There's
question. I just wanted to show people if you want to know more about Lloyd Luna, look him up as LinkedIn profile or Facebook, but LinkedIn is more professional, I guess. Thank you very much for showing us. Thank you, thank you. So that is the LinkedIn of Luna, and now I've got the personal question, and this is going to be nice because question number 1 is an easy question, and question number 8 is a difficult question. And we are going to turn the wheel of questions and we just see which question turns up. Is that okay with you?
I don't think I have any other choice, so please.
Very good answer, Mr. Lloyd Luna. So there we go. And we just run the wheel. Where is it? Where is it? Here is it. Yes. Let's have a closer look. That's always very exciting. Is it 1, 2, 3? This is totally automated. I cannot help. What? Oh, it's an easy question. You've got question number 2. You're lucky. Look, question number 2, just to be sure. So it's a very easy question, and then we can close off this interview. What's your favorite sport?
Oh, badminton. Easy.
Badminton. You're good at it or not?
I am. I am an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. One time you should try.
That's a very good question. Because I hope I will be in the Philippines once, and we're going to play badminton on the beach. Is that okay?
Definitely.
Okay,
Wherever you
well,
want.
thank you very much, Lloyd Luna from the Philippines. Like I said, if you want to know more about him, just look him up on LinkedIn. And for now, thank you very much. And we will see each other live on stage or online. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. See you next time. Oi, oi.